Why do you not get satisfied with what you have?
Because it's limited. Because it's limited.
This is limited, yes. So you have to do with limited things. Unlimited objective will not be of any use to you. She put forward the plate of sweets. I took one. Limited. And if you eat all of it, still it will be limited. It will not be unlimited. Why man is not satisfied with whatever he possesses, whatever he gets? Why?
Some cars, because of some scars, some
Sense.
It's
Because?
just not enough.
Yes, yes. Why it is not enough? The plate was before you. The plate was before you. Took only two.
Because we want the
You can't have.
satisfaction which is only in the Supreme.
You can't have more than what you really require. But the will is there to have all. Actually, the will is to have all, not the fraction. And whatever you get is a fraction of it, fraction of the universe.
It's an endless search for happiness
Yes.
and for unlimited.
Will gets is also hankering after having more and more. Knowing not what he will do with it. The question is why? Why one wants more? Why one is not satisfied with getting anything?
I think if you already, let's say you experience something nice, so you will not satisfied until you experience the same thing, because whatever is less, you think, I already know. So I think that's why the fraction of this superconscious mind in us knows what means the unlimited, endless, whatever you call it, that. So because we come from that, this is in our mind that we have to be that, and not something else. That's why we always want is that and nothing else.
So, obviously, I will tell you a story. I have told this story at many places. A peculiar beggar, rather a sadhu, came to the So, the question is why? Because whatever we get is in fraction, and the mind wants whole. The potentiality is for the whole. And we get, whatever we get is fraction, not the whole. Therefore, it is not satisfied. So, The question is how to satisfy it. Because it is always hanging on the limited objects. Limited objects. Human mind is hanging on limited fractions, and the potentiality is of unlimited, infinite, supreme mind. The nature of both of them is the same. You dream a boy. The boy has the same mind, the quality of mind as you have. How do you appreciate it? The mind in your dream is all the same as yours is. You are a mind and you are dreaming a mind. Both of them are minds. So you are mind and you are in the dream of the Supreme Mind. So the nature of them is the same. The question is very simple. You must have a base to hang upon. Change the base and you are in the infinite base. Am I clear?
Question.
Yes?
Is it also not to do with
Live in the present.
so that's mean I have to drop the thought. The thought is taking me away from the present.
Yes, yes.
The what?
Thought.
Thought.
What?
Thought, thinking.
The thought.
Thought.
Anyhow. Now,
I didn't understand one thing. You said something about the basis.
base.
Yeah.
Yes.
Base. I didn't got that point.
You have to change.
You must hang upon something. That is the base.
When you say hang upon, that's something that we hang upon, the mind hangs upon. That is like the object of the kids in
Yes,
the dream.
yes. That is the base you are hanging upon, the base.
But that means that we have to hang our mind on the Supreme,
Yes.
then
But
make this
There is
our
enough place
basis.
for the infinite.
But if we hang on our on the objects around us, in a sense,
yes.
that's what we do. And if we hang
Yeah.
on the supreme
Unlimited,
mind,
yes.
then we change our base.
But the mind is so quick. One moment it is here, there.
That you have to train your mind.
This was actually what I realized that all this. So it means that we have to make this supreme mind as our object, but it's not possible because he's the subject and I'm the object. Because
Yes.
everything is within him.
Yes,
So how
yes.
do you make him as an
Oh,
object?
yes, yes.
Something else, so
Yes, yes.
he's the king.
I am climbing. I am an old man.
But just because it's
You see, I will go step to step. The thing is, the present state, you are hanging on fractional objective field.
On what?
Fractional objective field.
Small. Yeah.
And you want the whole to hang upon. So, you can't have a chocolate and eat it too.
The moment you eat, you don't have it. And it's gone.
The thing
It's
is,
in the stomach. It's gone afterwards. Yeah, you don't have it anymore.
you shall have to withdraw yourself from the objective, fractional objective field. And then what are you then? You are a mind in a bigger mind. You are hanging on a fractional field of that whole mind. If you withdraw yourself from that objective field, where are you?
In that supreme mind.
Supreme mind. That is the theory of Ishwar Pranidhana.
Can you repeat this?
It means without an object, the mind cannot exist.
Yes, that will be having the entire objective field, supreme objective field. Then you will be one with the supreme mind. Therefore, the objective field of that supreme mind will be your objective. The whole.
Like the Buddha is thinking about nothing.
It is the same thing. And what is your proposal? I am sitting alone. There is nothing around me. The world does not exist. There is void. Shunya. That shunya is from the Buddhists. And mind that shloka. Madhulubdho yatha bhringa pushpat pushpataram brajet jnana lubdha tatha shishya guru guruvantaram brajet. One day an acharya asked Gurudev, you advise to wash hands like this, like the Muslims. Well, what of that? What of that? If Muslims do a good thing, should you deny it? So, it matters little where does it come from. From the Buddhists, so good. Well and good. Let it be. But it is the right thing. First, you shall have to withdraw your mind from the objective field. That is your first step. This is what Shuddhi? Bhuta Shuddhi. What will you call it? Bhut Shuddhi. What is Bhut Shuddhi? Withdrawal of the mind from your what type of surrounding? Physical. The external physical objective field.
Living in objective world.
Yes.
How far we can go to realize that?
Yes. You know that. Living, pardon again. Repeat. Living in
this objective world.
This objective
How
world.
far we realize this supreme conscious, or what you say, the
Well,
bigger mind.
How far away is the
You,
objective world?
you won't realize. The first stage is you withdraw from the objective, external objective field. Then another objective field is there, and it is, who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
I'm
Are you? Your name, please.
My name is Chaitanya.
You should have, when I asked you who are you, you should say, I am Chaitanya. Now Chaitanya is a name, you are not Chaitanya.
No. I told I'm me.
Who is you?
The one who says, I am me.
So, one will say, who are you? I am Anjali. Who is Anjali? This Anjali, this. Anjali?
I think it's supreme inside me. No?
The whole supreme inside.
Yes?
This body is the base. The second base is outside of what? Outside this body. The firstly, you withdraw your mind from the outside external objective field. External of what? From this body. So, the second stage is to withdraw your mind in the body. Verily you think the body to be you. Am I wrong? Everybody thinks himself to be this body. But this body is not you.
Yesterday you said nice, what is yours cannot be you.
You, yes, the body is yours. As the clothes you wear are yours, as the car you ride is yours, as the house you live in is yours, and none of them is you. So, you live in this body, and this body is not you. How do you like? So this body is also an object of you. So you withdraw yourself in the body from where? From the big toe below.
From the big toe.
Big toe.
Oh yeah.
You were lost in the upper story. Yes.
If I don't have a big toe.
Start with that part which is the farthest from the head.
So from the far
Whatever is
part
left from your toes or feet.
Please, I want to know how far. If I'm 2 meters, so I'm more far.
Now, when you are withdrawn to the Agya Chakra, it should become a point. Because the expansion of the mind was in space. And space is an expansion of, multidirectional expansion of points. What do we mean by a line? A line is an expansion of a continuum of points. A continuum of points is line. And what is space? Space is a continuum of points in multi-direction. So, when your withdrawal is complete in space, you will become a point. So, the geometry or arithmetics says a point has no dimension. Dimension was objective. Now, if your withdrawal is complete, you have no dimension, that makes you a point. What is a point? You become a point. So, the third stage is, what is the third stage? First stage is Bhuta Shuddhi, the Asana Shuddhi now. And what's the third stage? Chitta Shuddhi. What is this Chitta Shuddhi?
Withdraw yourself from your thoughts. To withdraw yourself from your thoughts.
From
Thoughts.
thoughts, ideation. You withdrew from the ideation already.
This
One.
I put emphasis on the idea of coming to a point, withdrawing yourself to the point. And a point is having no dimension. Therefore, you are one with the Supreme Mind. You should have the glimpses of the Supreme Mind. I say, the repetition or the japa of Ishta mantra, as you all are doing so, I say, if your withdrawal is complete, you will hear your Ishta mantra. Not that you falsely repeat them. Because by being in a position of repetition, you are not a point yourself. Your doership is there. Your doership. Did you appreciate what I said? No.
Sorry?
when you have doership, it's like you have an object,
Yes.
and then you are not.
Your withdrawal is complete. If it is complete, you will hear your Ishta mantra.
Means it's never complete. It has never been complete.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. And I tell you, within 8 days, these 8 days you will hear. If your withdrawal is complete, why should you not hear? Other words, I put the same thing in other words. You have done your own work of withdrawal and leave it to his work. He will do the rest. We were discussing the existence of Guru in everybody. Now it is up to him to guide you. You have withdrawn from the fractional universal field and gone to the status of a point. Now it is up to him to catch you and do the rest. He must have some work.
Okay.
You must give him some employment.
So Chitta Shuddhi is his work.
Yes, his work.
So you consider Bhuta Shuddhi and Asana Shuddhi our work,
Yes,
and Chitta Shuddhi,
his work.
we live it.
Yes.
You should not do anything active at that point. But he said you should not even try to repeat your Ishtamantra because it comes up automatically. You should not be active at all.
But is it possible that it is the same that
Oh,
we
you see,
got an
that's
application?
possible.
No. It is
It's just
partly-
possible.
No, she's
Why?
telling that the meditation she has got, with that meditation, what you said is not possible.
Wait,
No,
That
no, no.
first
I
lesson.
said, is it possible that when I do like this and then stop
yes,
my
yes,
mind,
yes.
that I hear the same
Ishtamantra,
mantra
yes.
that I got?
That is an examination, whether your Ishtamantra is correct or not. If you haven't given right Ishtamantra, you will hear it. The mother says, dog, you learn, you have no questions. You take the words. This is glass, this is water, this is this, that, and this nose. The mother is much pleased when the baby explains, yes, nose. Yes. So, words have their meanings. Words have their meanings. And without their meaning, word is a word. Without meaning is what?
Meaningless. Sound.
Sound only.
Only sound.
Meaningless.
Meaningless.
So, and exactly what is a word?
Meaningful sound.
Yes, sir.
A meaningful sound.
Yes, a meaningful sound. Yes. Wait. Words are symbols. Words are of two natures. One sound, the other is in writing. And both ways, they are symbols of something. They may be concrete, they may be absolute. Ideas. But a word must have a symbol. And the symbol is the meaning. The meanings are drawn in three ways. One is just a direct meaning. A book means a book. A dictionary meaning you may call it. Direct meaning. The other way is it has indirect meanings. So these three are the ways of getting a meaning. Clear? symbol.
Direct meaning and indirect.
Indirect meaning, and the thought behind the indirect meaning.
Thought behind indirect meaning.
Yes. Symbol,
Which is the meaning.
direct meaning.
Symbol and direct meaning is the same.
Yes, yes.
Symbol and direct meaning is the same.
Yes.
So the three is symbol and direct meaning. The second is indirect meaning.
Indirect
The third
meaning.
is thought behind the
The indirect or direct thought behind the direct or indirect meaning. This is something absolute, abstract.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
Regarding point 3, the thought behind the indirect meaning. How can we know it, or how can we be sure we know it?
You know it very well.
You know it very well.
Yes, yes.
But this is, I think this is completely, what do you call it, subjective, because some may thought about some word is from somebody else, maybe different to somebody else.
Yes,
Depends
yes.
from which background he comes from, which these are all
Yes,
it's not
yes,
the
of
same.
course. A word in one language is not carrying the same meaning in another language. Here you may call in one form the same thing others are not very familiar with.
For example, if you say the word spring, those places who never have spring only have, you know what I mean. For them, the meaning of spring is something completely different than if I say spring. For me, it means leaves falling. You know what I mean.
Yes,
It's the thought
yes,
that I-
yes, yes.
Even if I understand what is the meaning of spring, but my thought about it is different.
I was a student of matriculation. I passed it in 1942. In the prose selection, English prose selection, there was a piece, newspaper, reading newspaper. And I vividly remember one sentence of that piece. Everything in print is not necessarily true. Because it is printed, therefore it is true, there is no meaning. It was asked in my examination to explain it, therefore I remember it. So, the meanings, the words you follow. Shabdapraman means words taken as authority. But this piece, everything in print is not necessarily true, implies that you must exercise your brain, your reasoning, to find out what is good, tenable, bad, not tenable, where it is true or it is false. So, the words are always to be judged in the crucible of reasoning. The power of reasoning is with everybody, and it must be judged properly. Shabda Praman. The Praman, chapter of Praman is very important because you will always come with thoughts which you shall have to ponder, judge and say for yourself whether they are right or wrong. Everybody has some faith, and it is shaken when he reasons out to be something correct or wrong. Generally, one does not like to think about what he is accepting as true. Is it not so? But you are always thinking, and if it is thinking, the process will lead you to a good reason what you should accept as true. So that portion of thinking is always to be invited. How do you like it?
The last I've understood. The portion of thinking is invited to find out what is true or not.
Yes.
And who invites it? Myself?
Everybody.
Dass jeder selbst entscheiden soll, was richtig oder falsch ist, habe ich verstanden.
Don't accept anything unless you reason it out. That is my say. So, when you will put your reasons on any thought, then something will come which is called philosophy. What is philosophy? The product of your reasoning, inference of your reasoning. Now, this chapter of Praman was a first item of Patanjali's vritti. Patanjali has given Yoga Shastra, the science of yoga. The first aphorism is Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Many of you have read it. Patanjali is a foremost expounder of yoga. So, the definition, what is the definition of yoga? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Meaning thereby?
If the mind is empty, this is yoga.
The second is aphorism, sutra. Vrittaya panchitaya klishta akrishta. The vrittis are fivefold. They are fivefold vrittis. And very cunningly, or out of sheer overconfidence that everybody knows what chitta is, he has not defined chitta. You have read it? He has not defined chitta and then goes to define the vrittis. And the five vrittis are, first is Praman. These vrittis are the ways of knowing things. And the meaning is far-reaching. Far-reaching.
Far-reaching.
Yes. First, Praman, we discussed. And the second is Viparya. The first is Praman. That is, you authoritatively know in three ways. What are the three ways? The first is
Pratyaksha.
no, Pratyakshikaran. That is
sensory observation.
Pratyaksha, yes. Sensory observations. The second is supposition.
Based on sensory observation
Uh,
and authority based on Shabda words or words of
Yes.
judgment. I wrote something yesterday.
How do we know things? First way is these three words. First is sensory observation. Second is supposition based on sensory observations. And third is others say like that and we accept. And the greater part of it is what others say and we accept. So I said, there one should be cautious to accepting. Now, the other vritti I am passing on. Oh, yes. Viparya. First was Pramana, second is Viparya. Viparya in English means illusion. Illusion, yes. Illusion, you understand? What is?
Misconception, you said last time.
Yes, misconception. The technical term is illusion. Misconception. For misconception, you have something as an object, and the conception is wrongly accepted. Very clear? You have an object and you think other than the object. Then it is misconception. This is illusion. The psychic part of it is called illusion. Philosophical term is illusion. The general term will be misconception. There is a rope and you think it is a snake. You are afraid. with thinking that it is a snake affects you and you are afraid. It has its effect. Your misconception has its effect on you. This is illusion or misconception, the second way of knowing things.
Or of not knowing things.
Misknowing things. And the third is still a bigger one, bigger bolt. The third is vikalpa. It has no meaning and there is only sound, word. A word without a meaning. Can you put any example?
Heaven and hell.
An example, for instance, sticht mir wohl die Bock vor zu Loro.
Come on. Any example? A word having no meaning? Jai Shri. They said you are a very good student.
At least I don't know the meaning.
Say something.
Das wird mit Full Tali Ananda.
First, this conception of vikalpa, I said, a word having no meaning. Therefore, you must understand what meaning is. What is meant by a meaning? Suppose, what is this? Microphone. By saying it is a microphone, your chitta takes the shape of this item. The microphone is a word, and the picture imprinted in your chitta is the meaning. Is it clear?
Chitta corresponds to mind also.
No. Now, chitta is the crudest form of mind. We will be considering this item again in another subject, but presently we may satisfy ourselves with this introduction. Meaning, what is meaning? A meaning is the word has its imprint on the chitta. Clear?
I found heaven is a good become.
Yes. Heaven, hell, these are all. And why don't you begin with God? A word having no meaning. You will say so many attributes are that for God. They are all examples of this vikalpa. Just a bit waiting and seeing what meaning can be. I said, it is an imprint of the object in your chitta. The chitta has its expansion, which is very short. Is it not so? Your chitta is a short piece, and the idea of God, all pervading, sarva-vyapaka, all pervading, all knowing, whose conception holds this whole universe. How ridiculous it is to think that he is imprinted in my chitta. Can he be imprinted?
Not easy. It's not so easy because he is omniscient, omnipresent, without cause, without beginning, without end. How can this be imprinted in my limited chitta?
Yes, and therefore I say it is having no meaning.
The word of God
Yes.
has no meaning.
Let me say, if that is the thing, then everything becomes meaningless. Because the meaning is that what we give.
Yes.
And it is commonly understood by the all.
Yes.
Say God, then we all of understand is God.
God.
You
God.
define it, generator, operator, destroyer, whatever it is. So it is meaning because we all understand that. If you don't understand, it is meaningless. If that is the case, then every word has no meaning.
Every word has no meaning.
Because it is meaning we impose that.
Yes, yes, of course. You.
It is we give the meaning.
Yes. And
So
the
how
meaning is the imprint of the word engraved in the chitta. The infinite cannot be in your chitta.
If you have a proper understanding of God, and maybe some people think, like God
In
is
India,
one
you
man,
are.
It's a good point. The proper meaning of God has no imprint in our chitta, but many limited pictures of God people carry in their chitta.
Exactly. For some people.
That is called vikalpa.
Yeah.
No, but you said just vikalp, no meaning, only sound.
Yes. A sound having no meaning. Shabd matra. The definition is Shabd matra.
Then I mean to say, then what is, then every word has got no meaning.
Of course, how?
It is the meaning, it is the perception,
Of-
ideas that we give to the
Yes,
world.
yes,
And we
yes,
understand by saying that.
Everybody understands it.
Right.
The thing is, you call a pen, and this is a form, the pen is the word, you understand this. It is imprinted in your chitta.
What comes in the periphery of your perception, what you see and hear and smell, with your experience, with your practical experience, these things can be imprinted. What you have no experience cannot be imprinted.
You see, you are in India habituated to think of God in idols.
So it's easy.
Yes.
But it's not perfect, it's not true.
A calendar.
False conception, you know?
In a,
This pen you can see and your imprint is perfect. But your imprint of God, it's something you created.
Just
Very limited. You know?
Even that,
you
even
speak
the
of
pen.
something, I understand something different, we speak of God, but it's all
pictures hanging on the wall in calendars. The other day, yesterday I told you it is Krishna, and he said it is Rama, because there is a bow and the arrows, therefore it is Rama. But he is Rama or Krishna, the agarbatti, incense is there. So he becomes, the calendar becomes God. The picture in the calendar becomes God. So what is God? this picture in the chitta is God, smaller than the chitta, very small. Now you are seeing, and when you cease to see, he is no more there in the chitta. So omnipresent and ever existent God vanishes. Purposefully, I introduce this word, God. Let us quarrel over this.
What? Let us?
Quarrel over this.
This is what religious people do since thousands of years.
Yes,
And never find us.
Yes.
Over.
So, the third is vikalpa, meaning thereby only word having no meaning, as the meanings are the imprint in the chitta. Those words which do not have any imprint on the chitta are vikalpa. Three ways of knowing things. The thing is, the word God carries no meaning, still the word is there. Though it carries no meaning, the word is there and is used mostly with all respect.
It is a symbol for something we cannot explain.
Yes. So these are the three ways of knowing things. The fourth way is nidra, with knowing things, knowing the universe in knowing the world in these three ways, you sleep. Sleep.
Nidra.
Nidra.
Sleep.
Sleep. The spelling is S-L-E-E-P. Sleep. And this knowing slips away. The spelling is S-L-I-P. Where does it go? You know the world, things in these three ways: Praman or illusion, Viparya, and this third, Vikalpa. In English it is called delusion.
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 Vikalpa is called delusion.
Delusion. Viparya was illusion. Illusion means knowing. Illusion means wrongly knowing. And delusion means
Imagination.
only imagination with no concrete meaning.
This is Nietzsche.
D means
You speak about
negative.
You speak about Nitra or about Vikalpa or about what?
Vikalpa.
Vikalpa. It's delusion.
Delusion. And if this fourth one is very important. Nidra, that is sleeping over what you knew. Your knowing slips. Where does it go? There are so many books which are called scriptures in Sanskrit. One of my students, he is a scientific officer in ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Big man. He, whenever he comes to Katihar, he pays a visit to me. Though I am not his acharya, but I am the acharya of his acharya. Therefore, he comes and brings a good computer. So he will ask me, sir, in the grammar, Sanskrit grammar, such and such portion is there. Yes. He puts the button and he is there. And so, within half an hour, he will show me at least 15 or 16 texts, full text. And he puts the button, it is gone. Where gone? Where does it go?
In the store.
In the store. So it is very clear.
Database.
The nidra is this store or computer store. Whatever you know goes in the computer store. So it is not lost. It is not lost. How? Because it is always possible to get it back. So this bringing back on the surface is called smriti. Remembrance. Smriti, yes, fifth one. Vrittis according to Patanjali. Other vrittis we are concerned with are 50. 10 times bigger than the number of Patanjali. Patanjali's vrittis are the ways of knowing the world, the universe. Vritti, the word vritti here means to be. Vritti means to be. How things exist. They exist in 5 ways. I think it is tea time. As if we had closed the chapter of these five vrittis of Patanjali. But Patanjali finished there, but Anjali wants something more.
question about this? Was it afternoon or
No.
About?
About these things.
Yes.
Now
no,
instead of time.
no.
I just did not.
As expressed by Patanjali.
Yeah.
So, I will correlate it with the 50 vrittis in the Tantra. They are, we will be taking the subject later on, but the seed is there because we are having we, by the word we, I mean the entire biological evolution. We are at the forefront, but the beginning is from the unitary cellular stage of evolution. Those who have read biology, they know it. The unitary cellular structure of the evolution, like amoeba, hydra, etc. And there they work. The little they work, they get the reaction stored. And it is expressed in the next birth. So, the chain of evolution, as the species grow and grow and grow, thousands of life, 100,000 lives they have to reach manhood. And each of the life, the actions are in the three forms, and they go in sleep. They are stored in them. So, this is what the cause of further evolution and expression of the same initial experiments they made in the lives, the sanskaras they stored in themselves, and smriti is the expression thereof.
Smriti is to recall.
Recall, yes. Smriti. Action is always associated with pause. This pause is nidra, and reappearance of after the pause is smriti.
Excuse me. Have I understood it right that in Smriti means that of all the past lives the memories are stored?
Yes, it is always stored.
That it is
It-
would be
it's-
possible. Nothing is lost.
Yes, yes,
Everything.
yes.
It's not only our experience in past life, everything is stored.
Yes, yes.
And it's also
the
in the
entire
same
life,
place.
not life, entire lives.
The whole creation.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
knowledge about
Yes.
the universe.
Yes.
And because it is stored in the same place, there is one place where it is stored, or
Yes,
according
yes,
to concept, we have access to that store. We can also know the past of the others.
Right.
We can also know the evolution and whatever is there.
Now it's right now.
Wow.
Plasma or
Yeah, chitta is ectoplasmic
Chitta.
stuff.
Chitta.
It is not
You
stored
see,
in
it
chitta.
is not stored in chitta.
No.
No. It is in
Means smriti is eine Ebene?
No, smriti is the mechanism of how to get it.
The mechanism.
Nitra ist die Ebene.
So you can use the smriti in order
also
to
not.
remember where you
The
left the
level
keys
is-
yesterday. Or
Yeah.
whatever you did in 10 years
It is,
lives ago.
it is not that easy. Though it may seem like that, it is not that easy. When you are sitting in the examination hall, you are forgetting you had just read 2 hours earlier. So smriti is not that easy to recollect. It is just a way of the world goes.
Means the mind need to be very, very subtle to
Yes.
access this layer, no?
Yes,
To have full access to it.
Or at least talking sense, no?
Some access everybody has.
we
But
will,
full access.
we will discuss this chapter of Smriti, that is, I called it vritti, expression, way of expression. That is also vritti. This Patanjali's vritti is a discussion of how they are to be. Vritti means to be, and there vritti means how they are expressed. Here nidra is sanskara, that is potential. The correct term for nidra, sleep is common term. The real term should be what?
Sanskara.
Sanskara.
Nidra.
Nidra, yes. Or in the philosophical term, pause is nidra. In Hindi, Sanskrit we call gati, virama, speed and pause. The speed is existence. In how many ways? The 3 ways. Praman, Viparya and Vikalpa. And the pause is nidra. And the nidra, that pause is never the ultimate. The other day I was talking, what is death? Death is a station where the train stops and again it goes on. So, death is not the end of life. It is just a halting station. So, anything more about this? Should I pass on to other subject? So admitted. The next talk is theory of perception. Not so close. Theory of perception. This is just a bookish theory. Every book on psychology and physics also describes it. Because perceptions, we began with perception, we began our discussion with perception. Praman, the first Praman was Pratyaksha Praman. That means sensory observations. And how the sensory observations are conducted, that will be our point of discussion. Now, sensory organs are how many?
5.
5. Yes. What are they?
See, smell, hear, taste, and touch.
Yes. The first is
eyes.
And still ear. The most attractive point is that of sound. You may not see it, but the sound will attract you. So, the ears. And how do we hear? Ears are related with ears. Hearing. Hear. How do we hear? Oh, we didn't hear what you were talking privately.
No, I explained because
Oh, yes. Hear. So, how do we hear? There is
The vibrations
yes.
come to our ear and
Yes.
hit the membrane in the ear, and it starts
All the
moving.
theories of perception are based on the theory of physics that everything exists in vibrations.
Vibration.
Vibration.
Everything exists as
Vibration. What is light? Light is a system of vibration. What is sound? Sound is a system of vibration. What is touch? It is a system of vibration.
What is
Touch.
touch?
Yes. What is vision? A system of vibration, light. So all the 5 are systems of vibration.
What's vibration? Vibration itself?
What is vibration?
Vibration is in the different columns. Sound is in the where? Ethereal column. Sound, then touch, then light, then taste, then smell. By hearing, what is the process? One speaks, that is to say, a system of wave emerges from the tongue, from the mouth, and travels in the air column. The air column is resting in the ether, ethereal column, and it travels to the listener's ears, which has a diaphragm in it. The sound wave strikes the diaphragm, and the same vibration is carried over through the nerves going to the brain. Those nerves have fluid in them, and the vibration is carried over in the fluid. Where? To the brain. And all the 5 sensory organs work in the same fashion. You see, a light falls on an object and it takes the imprint of that object to your eyes. It strikes the eyes, and the vibration is carried over to the brain through the optical nerves, through the optical fluid.